You should really pay attention to the things your kids watch on TV. I remember the first time I was snapped from my cartoon-laced delusion. I lost a part of my childlike innocence that day. It shaped my views of the world forever. My older sister and I were watching television like we did every evening before bed. It was the early 90s. I was barely 6 years old. My sister was almost 9. A special report from Illinois popped up on the TV showing a large man. He wore a sinister grin that was exaggerated by a smear of red makeup. Blue triangles turned up most of the area around his eyes. The rest of his face white like cold cream. His suit was complicated. Strange clown suit, full of it. Half of it was solid red, the other half red and white striped. Frilly red and white collar puffed from under his second chin. A white-gloved hand was raised in a frozen wave. The newscaster said the man had been arrested for taking the lives of 33 young boys. We lived nowhere near Illinois, but my young mind didn't understand that. I barely was able to understand or process what I was hearing. All I knew was that 1 hour ago I liked clowns. After seeing this, I was terrified, especially being a young boy myself. I can't remember the next part, but it was talked about so much by my family members over the next few years that I almost feel like I do. 6-year-old me burst into hysterics. I was heard throughout the house wailing to my sister, "But Bubby, I thought all clowns were nice." It was an hour before I was able to be calmed. My dad sat me down, got out his map of the United States, and showed me how far away from Illinois we were. When that didn't work, he explained that they'd caught him and locked him away. The world was safe from him forever. I couldn't understand why anyone would hurt children, let alone a clown. Clowns are supposed to bring joy, happiness, laughter, not hunt down boys and stack their bodies underneath his house. My father distracted me with something normally forbidden for bedtime: ice cream. My childhood innocence and mirth slowly returned with each syrup-drizzled bite. But only a percentage. Before long, my dad was able to get me to fall asleep. Part of me knew it still bothered me. Couldn't figure out why. Flash forward decades later. I'm divorced with a 15-year-old son of my own that my ex Rachel and I share custody of. I still absolutely hate clowns. Last Christmas, Rachel sent me a wind-up clown figure, a special FU for the holiday season. Tried to be the bigger person, however, I couldn't help but send a thank you card in response. It contained only 5 words. Thanks for the excellent gift. That wasn't bad enough. The new year brought a new trend. News reports all over the United States were appearing left and right about, of all things, clown sightings. It's quickly becoming known as the Year of the Clown. They're popping up everywhere: schools, supermarket, parking lots, forests, backyards, etc. Some stood there harmlessly, but there were others with far more sinister intentions. Part of my subconscious reverts to the age of 6 every time a new sighting's announced. I'm too jumpy to conceal and carry, so I always keep a knife on me, just in case. I figure it's only a matter of time before one pops up where we live. If I ever do encounter one, hopefully, it stands there like a creep. It's a juvenile event for sure, but one that seems to unnerve the whole country. Halloween's barely 7 short months away. Brody will be 16 by then and too old for trick-or-treating. I still can't help but worry about the upcoming holiday. He'll most likely want to go out with his friends, and I'd stopped accompanying when he was 11. If the clown shit didn't let up, I'd have to keep him home this year. I'd rather have him be pissed off at me than in danger, or worse, dead. The trend intensifies, spreading worldwide instead of just being limited to the US. The week before Halloween is rapidly approaching, and I'm arguing with Brody about wanting to go out. After telling him for the 10th time how I won't change my mind, even though it hurts me to say, he charges off to his room and slams the door. The moment it closes, I hear a torrent of furious swears, of complaints from within his room. And later I feel bad about what happened, and I go to his room to end the night on a better note. The space under the door shows the glow of his bedroom light, signaling he's still awake. After a knock, I turn the knob, I open the door. Within the hoarder's hell that is his room, I finally locate a Brody-shaped bundle under the covers of his bed. Must have dozed off with the light on. I'm not wanting to disturb him. I turn off the light, I shut the door. I wash the dinner dishes. Turn off the kitchen lights before attempting to head off to bed myself. I hover over the sink and I look out the window while I let my hands air dry. Blood in my veins chills as I notice something out of place in my periphery. A motionless figure stands against the blowing branches of the tree at the edge of the woods. A clown. With electric green hair, red makeup on a white face. I clench my eyes shut, and I slam my hands on the edges of the sink to try to wake myself up from the nightmare that's before me. And when I open my eyes again, no one's there. I blame it on exhaustion. It's early. It's easier to accept than the truth. Go to bed. Clowns chase me through my dreams till the morning. Morning greets me with sweaty disdain. I awake disoriented and more tired than I was before I went to sleep. After making sure Brody is set to go to his mother's house for the weekend, I head off to work. It's an uneventful work day, just how I like it. It's a gas station less than 2 miles from my house, so I stop to get some beer and L&Ms. Cashier tells me to have a good night. Be careful. I nod in response. I open the door to leave. Sun starts to set early this time of year. When I walk out into the parking lot, clear blue sky is already replaced with a pink and orange sunset. My car turns the last corner before home, and there it stands. The green-haired clown. He stands off in the woods staring at me. A white-gloved hand creeps up and waves. Freezes. Just like the clown from the 90s news report. My mind instantly takes me back there, and I struggle to keep the car on the road. It's difficult to perform such an adult task while reverting to such a childish emotional state. When I look in the rearview mirror, the clown is still at the edge of the woods, but walking the same direction that I'm driving. What's the point of all this? There are hundreds of people nearby to harass. Why choose me? I pull into the garage as quickly as I can, and I hit the button to lower the door. I hold my breath until I hear it close behind me. I run inside, and I quickly call the police. After the operator takes my information, she tells me there had been several reports of clowns lately, but so far, they've been harmless. She assures me they will investigate it before hanging up the phone. My mind races. I run to the house, checking all the doors and windows to make sure they're locked. The woods at the edge of my yard look no different than they do any other night. The assumptions made, the police are on their way to check the neighborhood. So I start to relax a little, with the help of a beer or two. 4 beers in, and it's cigarette time. Even though Brody's not with me this weekend, I still go to the garage to smoke, because of me coming out here to smoke, my garage has been a place of comfort, relaxation to me. I sit on the steps, I listen to the crackle of tobacco taking flame. Now, I've been smoking since I was 14. It's been the longest commitment of my entire life. I love everything about it, having only stopped once when Rachel was pregnant with Brody. Catch myself humming a tune that I'm not too sure of. Halfway through with a cigarette, a sound rings through the acoustics of the garage that doesn't belong. A click of a car door handle slices through the silence like a katana. There's barely any time to move or react. Tufts of erratic electric green hair poke out through the top of the door as the figure stands to get out of the car. He walks towards me. He's cocking his head to one side, then the other like a dog, sizing me up. He's cornering me in the direction, leading away from the door, leading inside. This is bad. What do you want? What do you want? I shouted at him. No answer. I take out my wallet and I throw money at him. Here, just take this and go away, please. Again, no answer. He's closer to me now than ever. There's not much room left behind me until I'm backed into the corner and I have no limited options. He stops about 4 feet away from me, reaches into his clown suit and pulls out a gun. Terror invades my skin like dry ice, burning me yet chilling me to my bones at the same time. Before he has time to shoot, I rush him with my knife. I'm able to tackle him to the ground and the gun falls out of his hand. Something about the way the gun sounds when it falls bothers me. I see a rush of red spread under the floor. Doesn't make sense. The gun didn't go off. No one's been shot. Realizing it can only be one other option, I pull away from the figure in the clown suit. My knife is sliced clean through his chest, almost directly to where his heart is. I can feel for a wrist pulse through all the frills and the cuffs of the suit. I have to remove his mask to check his neck. And lots of emotions hit me at once. Each one more heart-shattering than the one before. I scream, I sob, claw at my face with lunacy at the horrific situation laying in front of me as a teenage boy. There's no pulse to be found because there's no life in his body. I'd taken that away. The gun he pulled was a too realistic water pistol. I hug his blonde hair to my chest. I stroke his lifeless face. The police will be here soon. And I want you all to know what happened before they take me away, and everyone makes their own assumptions. I've always done my best to make sure to be a good father. Saying goes that parents should never have to bury their child. Can you imagine how I feel being the one that actually killed there?
Hey there once again, kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and I just wanted to give you a big thank you for watching tonight's video. If you guys ever wanted to help support the show, you can always do so if you watch the show on youtube.com/MrCreepyPasta or find the MrCreepyPasta Storytime podcast on iTunes, on Google Play, and on Spotify. And also, if you ever want to check out my wife's tea shop, it's etsy.com/ivorymonocletea, where she sells hand-blended herbal teas in the theme of Dungeons & Dragons and Harry Potter and Final Fantasy and the like. You can find the link for it, as well as many, many, many other links in the description down below. And, drumroll please, a big, big, big thank you to everybody supporting me at patreon.com/MrCreepyPasta. People such as Taysia-lynn, Genobaga-Arneho, Daniel Poulsen, Trace Miles, Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Wayne Milstead, Dr. Strawberry, Chompski, Ken Lando Higuchi, Brianna Tine-Janzen, Nicholas Saeid Alyain, Buddy Burroughs, Stephen Van Huss, Kai Albertson, Goonington, G. Weevil 3, Chance Burnett, Diane Kraus, Asia, Gabrielle the baca, TheRedOakShieldVirus, Sindee Barney, Titty Connoisseur, really? Titty Connoisseur? Melissa Sweigart, Dante Rowe, Last Blade Song, Cross Rights, The Ginger Bros, Eliminator 86, Andrew Steinberg, Jason Sistma, Holy Realm, and Rafael Rodriguez. Thank you so much to you guys out there on Patreon, to all of you listening to either the podcast or the YouTube show. And that is everything, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and sweet dreams.